How's it going, everyone? My name is Michael SK, and welcome back to Fate Stay Night Remastered, where we are going to be entering a brand new route. This will be the last route for Fate Stay Night, and honestly, I'm pretty excited. I don't know what to expect here. The reason why it took me a little bit from the previous episode to now to get going with this route was because I was watching the Unlimited Blade Works anime through Ufotable, their anime adaptation of this title, and my god, guys, I actually finished it up today. I thought it was brilliant. The second half especially, but I think that the anime truly excelled, and sure, I would argue that people should still go through the source material here, but I would feel okay with others that, don't want to read a visual novel to just go through the anime. I think that's totally fine in this case, though I don't know what people have to go through in order to experience the Fate route. I don't know if that's a okay enough experience. I did not watch the anime adaptation for that because I believe that is older and slightly more doo-doo. Not entirely sure, but I liked it. Now, I'm not going to do a whole, video right now about my feelings and everything on the Unlimited Blade Works adaptation, but I will just say it was great. It is really fascinating to see how they can take parts that wouldn't really translate well and kind of not necessarily undo and redo things, but they have a different approach to keep things feeling pretty solid. It was so cinematic visually and through the sounds, the music. I thought it was fantastic. And then the epilogue, which was definitely what we saw at the epilogue of the true, good ending of Unlimited Blade Works here in the visual novel, but it was then some. It was a continuation. It showed you more. It gave you more closure. That shit is what I love, man. I love that shit. It was fantastic. A fantastic way to close things out, to keep you, on your toes for where things could go. Apparently there were some cameos from other Fate characters or something. They seemed significant enough, but no, I thought it was a fantastic ride through the anime, and now I feel more prepared than ever to really jump in here with our next route. And how to get to that route, I'm not entirely sure because I didn't look at the walkthrough. I don't necessarily know. I didn't know if there was anything I should be seeking out or if I should just be starting over. Not entirely sure, but I wanted to avoid spoilers. And hey, look, there's our lines, by the way. So definitely going to try and utilize the walkthrough for looking for bad endings, but nothing really stuck out whenever I was going back through Unlimited Blade Works in order to get bad endings, which means we don't trail off from Unlimited Blade Works into the next route. We trail off from the Fate route. And honestly, seeing these visuals again, it really does, it gives you a different, perspective. We've come a real long way. I guess I should have, hit no on that prompt now that I'm thinking about it. I probably should have, but it's all good. We'll get to where we need to be. But yeah, anime was a 10 out of 10, at least the second half was. I don't know what I rated the first half because AniList has those separated. But honestly, no, they're both fantastic. I really enjoyed them. So we'll skip to where we need to be. And never mind, we just went... Okay, I guess that was just the scene. No, where the fuck do I need to go in order to get the... How do I get to the start of the game again? It's been so long, I don't know how to get to the start of the game. Do I just hit new game? Well, new game is just going to get me... Oh, wait. Okay, here we go. I don't know why I didn't just do this. Sorry, guys. I'm silly. What can I say? Okay, so I want to choose the options that are pro Sakura, which I definitely did there. That was good. We have to get the Sakura brownie points now. So we can help the student council or we can go to our part-time job. You know what? Why not? I don't think there's a problem with, checking out the options that we didn't choose. I don't think that there's a massive impact here, but we're looking for the trail off. We're looking for where we can veer off the path. Really, if there's a prompt that shows up with, options I don't remember seeing or options that, one of them isn't green, that tells me, okay, we're in our splitting point. I feel bad for Issei, but I should probably prioritize my part-time job. I never promised I would go, but since I said I'd try, I should probably keep my word.
いや、悪い、一世。先約があるんで、今朝の続きはまたにしてくれないか。
先約？ああ、例のアルバイトか。そうか、それは困らせたな。こちらは今日明日で進退が決まるものでもない。俺の頼みなど気にせず、労働に励んでくれ。
すまん。明日の朝一で続きをするから、それでチャラにしてくれ。ん？そこまで深刻な話でもないと言っただろう。急を要していたものは今朝で片付いた。残った修理品はエミヤの手が空いた時で構わんさ。そっか。じゃあ、バイトの休みが取れたら続きをするってことでいいかな。
しさいない。その時はまた頼りにするぞ、エミヤ。
Honestly, after 2 routes and watching the Unlimited Blade Works anime, my opinions on characters have changed. I think for the better for a lot of them. Definitely not Shinji, but Issei definitely has gone up. Also, I want to throw this out. When Gilgamesh and Shirou were fighting, it was like the second to last episode. They were in their big fight. Gilgamesh absolutely... He threw in the pose, the exact fucking pose that he has here in the visual novel, with his hand on his hip, with his stupid-ass outfit, with his short-ass jacket and everything. He looks so ridiculous. But he popped up with the same pose, man. Issei bids me a stiff farewell and leaves the classroom. That's like my big final thought from the anime. I shouldn't dawdle. I may not have been given a specific time, but now that I've decided to go to my part-time job, I need to hurry over to the neighboring town. Have we ever figured out what his part-time job is? I don't remember, really.
参ったな。ほんの手伝いのつもりだったのに、3万円ももらってしまった。
That's pretty significant. It's like an unexpected windfall or a stroke of good luck. Works for me. Copenhagen, where I work today, is like a bar and supermarket that sells liquor all in one, and it takes a lot of people to restock inventory for this place. It's a job that needs at least 5 people, but the more people you have after that makes everyone's lives easier. Yet the boss is always like... Well, he mentioned it so casually to the part-time workers and seemed to think it was enough. But I'm the only one who showed up. The only people there for inventory were me, the boss, Neko, his daughter. Well, a whole hell broke loose.
バカだね、あんた。そりゃ誰も来るわけないじゃん。
Neko was scolding the boss, yet I was the only fool who came ready to be sacrificed. The two of them unenthusiastically applauded when I showed up, and then we all decided to organize the storage room as much as possible. I do question the Japanese labor laws, and then we somehow finished the inventory in 2 hours. That's what I've been doing all game, just looking for those brownie points. The boss remarks as he eats a brown cake, oh, I thought it was an actual brownie, and surveys the afternoon's work.
違います。力仕事には慣れてるし、ここのバイトも長いし、倉庫のどこに何があるかぐらいは把握してるからです。伊達にガキの頃からここで働かせてもらってません。
あ、そっか。あれ、シロ君ってもう5年だっけ？
そのぐらいですね。親父が亡くなってからすぐに雇ってくれたの、親父さんのとこだけだったし。
ありゃりゃ、わあ、僕も年を取るわけだ。
The boss stuffs his mouth with rum cake. Next to him, Neko is nursing a bottle of warm sake. The owner has a sweet tooth, while the daughter is the drinker of the family. They sure balance each other out well. And
けど助かったわ。こんだけやってもらって、おだちんがケーキだけっていうのもあれだし。はい、これ僕からの気持ち。
he waves 3 10,000 yen bills at me. It's more than I'd get for a week's worth of labor, not 3 hours.
どうも。
I hesitate, but I take whatever I can get. Just as I'm about to leave Copenhagen,
ちょい待ち。エミヤ、今日の話誰から聞いた？
Neko stops me while she's curled up in front of a heater resting.
確か古見さんですけど。
学生に自分の仕事を押し付けるんじゃないってのよ、あのバカ。まあそれはいいとして。何？じゃあ今日の棚卸し、また聞きだったのに来たんだ。
I'm trying to remember what Shirou was up to at this point in the anime. I don't know if he stayed late or what. I don't know, going through the very beginning again, I wasn't too interested.
まあ暇だったら手伝ってくれって感じで。
古見もバカだけど、エミヤンもおバカさん？
It's good to be honest.
まあいいけど。君さ、人の頼みを断ったことないでしょ。前に私と父が風邪で寝込んだ時も店番してくれたし。
別にそんなことはないですけど、俺無理な注文は受けませんもん。
あん時君も風邪ひいてたんだけどね。まあいいけど。私が何を言いたいかっていうとですね、エミヤンはいいやつでちょっとバカで、そのあたり私は心配なので、今度藤村にちょっとは顔出せやこらと伝えておいてほしいのです。
I wonder what that beef is. Neko makes circles with her fingers in the air as she downs her sake. She seems to think that I'm a dragonfly or something.
はあ。とにかく藤姉に伝言？
そう。じゃあね。あんまし頑張りすぎんなよ、少年。
Well, that's odd. Just slightly.
いつの間にか橋越えてら。
I managed to walk back from the neighboring Shinto to Miyama without realizing. Okay. I think shortly after, that's actually when Shirou comes across Ilya. I think that's what goes down there. We're gonna be a good boy and walk Sakura home. Wait a minute. Did we not choose this before? I haven't thanked Sakura for cooking dinner yet, so I should talk to Sakura.
そうだな。夜も遅いし、家まで送って行ってやらないと。
That was green text, was it not? Sakura just finished cleaning up, and she's in the living room getting ready to go home.
あれ、先輩、お風呂に入ってたんじゃないんですか？
いや、風呂は後回し。さくらを送ってから入る。
送るって私をですか？
I don't think we were able to actually in our first go around here. We tried to, but it didn't work.
あ、最近物騒だから家まで送る。さくらんち結構遠いだろ。わざわざ来てもらってるんだから、それぐらいはさせてくれ。
Sakura purses her lips awkwardly. Did I say something wrong?
ごめんなさい。気持ちは嬉しいんですけど、先輩は休んでいてください。家までだったら慣れてますし、一人でも大丈夫ですから。
いや、それはそうだろうけど、今日は特別だ。しばらくは家まで送っていくよ。
でも兄さんに見つかると先輩にまで迷惑がかかります。
No matter what Shinji might say, letting Sakura go home alone during these dangerous times would be much worse.
俺にかかる迷惑なんていい。ともかく最近は物騒なんだから送ってく。
でもやっぱり先輩に悪いですから。
悪くない。日頃世話になってるんだから送るぐらいさせてくれ。それとも一人で帰りたいのか、さくらは。
いえ、そういうことではなくてですね。
ならいいだろう。これでも腕には自信があるんだ。大抵の暴漢は返り討ちにできるから、こんな時ぐらいは使ってやってくれ。
I nudged Sakura towards the hallway with a glance.
先輩、本当にいいんですか？また兄さんと喧嘩しちゃうかもしれませんよ。
Now I feel like we're gonna have a whole lot of issues with him in this route.
構わないよ。男同士で喧嘩しない方が変だし、シンジとはそれぐらい素直に言い合った方がいいんだ。あいつ、ああ見えて隠し事とか嫌いだから、文句があるならすっぱりと言い合った方がすっきりする。
When I say that, Sakura looks surprised for some reason.
どうした？なんか変なこと言ったか俺。
Well, we're talking about Shinji here, so everything's weird.
言ってませんよ。先輩が兄さんと仲良くしてくれるのが嬉しいだけです。
いや、仲良くってのは難しいぞ。すっきりするのは俺だけで、シンジは逆かもしれないし。
Yeah, every time we actually talk back to him, he actually, he's seemingly angrier.
そうですね。けど兄さん、何度喧嘩しても先輩に話しかけるでしょ。兄さん、きっと先輩が苦手なんです。けど、他の人よりずっと好きだから、いつも先輩を気にしてるんですよ。
それは返答に困る意見だな。は
い。先輩が羨ましかったから、少しだけ困らせてみました。
Sakura smiles gently. Seeing her smile makes my breath catch in my throat. It's like she's beaming. I think this is the first time I've seen Sakura smile like that.
とにかく送っていくからな。シンジに見つかったら見つかったでいい。妹を送り届けたんだから、あいつだって文句は言わないだろう。
そうですね。隠すよりは、そうした方がいいかもしれません。それじゃあ、お言葉に甘えていいですか？
はいよ。たまには先輩らしいとこを見せてやれ。
I pound my chest to demonstrate my determination. Sakura nods with a smile when she sees my conviction. So this might not necessarily be the split, but this is different. We didn't have this opportunity to actually go and do this back in our first go-around. I think it was actually Fujimura that came over and was like, "Nuh-uh, I'll do it." We walked downhill and reached the intersection. There's no one else around, and the familiar residential area feels oddly desolate. It's only a little before 10 o'clock, but the entire town is sleeping. The silence feels unnatural. It may have to do with all the recent incidents, but it's hard to believe the town could lose so much spirit just because it's dark out.
先輩、私の家、こっちですけど。
悪い。ちょっとぼーっとしてた。さくらの家はあっち側の一番上だもんな。
いえ、一番上にあるのは東坂先輩のお家ですよ。マトウの家も高いところにありますけど、一番上じゃないんです。
あれ、そうだったか？東坂ってあの東坂？
はい、2年生の東坂凛さんです。先輩、苦手なんですか？
Sakura speaks as if she read my mind. Ugh, was I really so obvious? Okay, honestly, I do have to say, I do think Rina's a favorite character of mine here for this visual novel. I don't know if I could say that she is my complete favorite. I think we got to get to the very end of this title and do everything that there is to do in this title first before I can, really put my foot down on who's a favorite, because I really like Saber. I really like Shirou. I really like Rin. I do think that there's a lot to appreciate out of a lot of the side characters. But with Sakura, I feel like we haven't had too much of an opportunity to get to know her. So there's still the potential of her, climbing to the top. So even so, that epilogue, man, I'm telling you, in the anime, it was beautiful. I really liked how they went about it. And it made Rin a favorite more and more so. I think we really got to give Sakura a chance here.
いや、苦手ってわけじゃない。話したこともないし、 よく知らない相手だ。ただ、有名な優等生だろあいつ。どこにいても目立つから人並みに知ってるだけ。そういう桜は同じ洋館だし、もしかして近所付き合いとかあるのか？
ないですよ。確かに近所ではありますけど、遠坂先輩のお家は坂の上ですから。けど、遠坂先輩のお家が洋館だって知ってるんですね。
Sakura asks in a slightly muffled tone.
ああ、ちょっと小耳に挟んだんだ。遠坂のところは幽霊屋敷だとかなんとか。幽霊屋敷って言ったら洋館と相場が決まってるだろ。
That is a fair point, actually.
そうですね。遠坂先輩は一人が好きみたいですから。私も子供の頃、坂の上には怖い魔法使いが住んでるって言われてました。
Well, you were told something somewhat accurate.
へえ、怖い魔法使いか。俺もそんな風な噂は聞いたな。まあ、それ言ったらあっちの家はみんな魔法使いが住んでいそうだけど。で、さくらは信じたのか、その話。
信じました。だって子供だったんです。だから坂の上には行っちゃいけないっていつも思ってました。
Sakura's response is entirely serious. I was only asking half jokingly, but her response seems to have been in earnest. I feel like we're going to learn a little bit more about, you know, I don't know if Sakura has a history with Rin necessarily, but does she know anything when it comes to like this whole other world that's sort of just been here behind the curtains? If so, then she probably understands that there's like not necessarily a political problem here, but this is the Tosaka's town. This is her territory. The Mato family doesn't have anything. We walk up the hill. The residential area here may be on the opposite side of town from where I live, but its layout is similar. The higher you go up the hill, the fewer buildings there are, and the denser the thickets of trees grow. Most of the town is at the bottom of the hill, so it's only natural to have less and less homes as you go uphill. And one of the few buildings near the top of the hill is Sakura's house, the Mato residence. Sakura suddenly stops.
なんだ、忘れ物か？
いえ、忘れ物じゃないんですけど。先輩、
Oh.
うちの近くに誰かいませんか？
Sakura peers ahead, looking concerned. It would be Gilgamesh here, right? Because I remember from the very beginning, when we were following Rin around, she actually came across Sakura and Gilgamesh talking, or he was trying to talk to her. I look around, but there's nobody except the two of us.
別に誰もいないけど、なんかあったのか？
いえ、いないならいいんです。なんか最近家の近くで見慣れない人をよく見かけるから、今日もいるのかなって。
なんだそれ、なんか危なくないかそいつ。どんなやつなんだよ。
Yep.
金髪のかっこいい人でした。モデルさんみたいだから先輩も見たらびっくりすると思います。
Sakura blushes as she describes them, almost as if she's embarrassed. Sakura, I wonder if this is something I should be concerned about.
なんだ、不審なやつってわけじゃないんだ。
わかりません。ただ最近は引っ越してきた人なんていないからおかしいなって。
まあとにかく怪しいって言えば怪しいよな。よし、もしまた家のあたりをうろついてるようだったら俺が信じに行ってくれ。
はい、頼りにしてます。けど手荒なことはしないでくださいね。私先輩に喧嘩されると困ります。
Sakura smiles as she says that.
大丈夫だよ。ちゃんと話し合いから始めるから。さくらが心配することない。
I avert my gaze from Sakura's smile, realizing what I'm saying sounds pretty lame. This is bad. I've been finding myself captivated by everything Sakura does lately. I thought nothing of it a while back, but now even I think there's something wrong with me lately. Maybe it's that Sakura's matured, or maybe it's just that I've gotten more aware of her. I really do think she's become very beautiful, and that's good, but I don't think it's a good look if I keep just awkwardly looking away from her all the time. Yeah, no, that would be a bit odd.
それじゃあおやすみなさい先輩。送ってもらえて嬉しかったです。
バカ、礼なんて言うな。晩飯作ってもらってるんだから、お礼を言うのはこっちの方だ。
Sakura smiles, looking pleased.
たく、こんなんでいいんなら明日から日課にするからな。
はい。先輩の気が向いた時、たまにでいいですから送ってください。兄さんに怒られるけど、私はやっぱり先輩と一緒がいいです。
All right. I'll take that as a plus.
先輩、また明日ですね。今日はありがとうございました。
Sakura shouts those final words at me full of energy and disappears inside the Mato Manor.
さて。
Guess I should head home too. I left Fujine at the house. Well, that's frankly worrying.
あれ?
What was that noise? Did I hear something? I hear it. The sound of a swing creaking. It takes me a while to realize the sound is actually a bug chirping.
どんな虫かな。何にせよ、季節外れもいいところだ。
I imagine a longhorn beetle hiding in the dark under the crisp winter sky. Huh.
あれ? 明かりが3つある。
The light that just turned on is Sakura's room. The light on the first floor is Shinji's room. Which means... I wonder whose room is the third one.
シンジんとこは、さくらとシンジしかいないはずだけど。
Maybe they have a guest, or maybe Shinji's in that other room. Either way, I've been in the Mato mansion numerous times, but it's the first time I've ever seen the lights on in that room. Well, it's a big house. It's not really all that strange for the lights to be on in any particular room. It shouldn't be strange, yet...
なんだろう。なんか、胸がざわつくな。
It's like a premonition, or some kind of negative presence. A strangely unseasonable sound echoes across the otherwise silent, frosty night sky. If ever there was such a thing as a gut feeling, whatever is lurking inside me trying to warn me about something feels ominous like the 3 worms from Taoist belief. Yeah, I don't know what that noise is supposed to be. Don't know at all, but alright. Oh, wait, I don't want to save. Not right now. Okay, that was new, that was different. Maybe that's sort of preparing us for whatever's to come here. Wonder what kind of bug that was. And who else could be in that house? Oh, I wonder. I awake to darkness. I guess I'm not much for dreaming unless something big happens. I always have the same dream anyway. I always envision a sword. I have no idea why, but that's the only thing that pops into my head. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Perhaps this is what defines me as, well, me, as Shirou Emiya. I don't have any dreams of my own. The only things on my mind while I sleep are what others taught me long ago. For example, on how to be a mage. Even if I'm not a full-fledged mage, it's only natural for a mage to be aware of the world they're in. Put simply, a mage is an irregular, an outcast from society. But even outcasts need to band together to survive. My old man told me that there is a society of mages called a Mages Association. He also told me that I shouldn't ever get involved with them. The Mages Association is said to conceal the existence of magecraft and manage mages. The Mages Association watches over mages and makes sure their magecraft doesn't affect society. But the strange thing is that they don't really prohibit mages from abusing magecraft either. According to Kiritsugu, the Mages Association is only interested in concealing mystics. Even if, say, a mage carried out an experiment that sacrificed, let's say, a lot of citizens, the association wouldn't punish them. Their priorities are expressly in preventing the public from becoming aware of magecraft, which does not mean magecraft is completely banned. Honestly, Anything goes as long as the truth doesn't come out. At least that seems to be how that insane bunch conducts themselves. It's like the total opposite is like whatever they got going on in Harry Potter. Or maybe not the complete opposite. Obviously, you want that shit concealed from an ordinary Joe, but, like, they do prohibit you from, doing anything, whatsoever, I guess. To a certain extent. I think it's like an age thing? I don't know. Whatever it is, the Mages Association surveillance is absolute. Typical magecraft research sacrifices the lives of ordinary humans, which in turn risks revealing the existence of magecraft to the world. As such, the Mages Association doesn't permit research that would harm society. Ultimately, mages conduct their research in their privacy of their homes, while the world is none the wiser. So mages sometimes go into hiding to escape the association's scrutiny and oversight. So there may be some mages living in this town, and I just don't know it. I also hear Fuyuki is a spiritual hotspot of sorts, and that probably means that there's some prestigious mage with a storied history living here. They're called second owners, elite mages that the association entrusts to watch over the territory. Other mages who live in the same area must visit these second owners first to get permission to build their workshops. My old man was an outlaw who cut ties with the association and moved here without the consent of Fuyuki's second owner. In a way, our family is a bunch of trespassers living in a house without permission from the landlord. Which means the second owner doesn't know that Kiritsugu Emiya was a mage. So I tend to feel like our family's status as mages is kind of unclear. But then my old man, the bona fide mage, died. And even though I'm his disciple and son, I don't know a thing about the Mages Association and have no real knowledge about being a mage. I have a feeling the association would want to dispose of someone like me, but they haven't made any sort of move. Apparently the Mages Association doesn't have many eyes in Japan, so that's probably why I haven't been found out yet. But that doesn't mean I can let my guard down. The eyes of the Mages Association are said to be everywhere, and if someone commits a crime using magecraft, the church's heretic hunters will make their move. Using magecraft, however half-assed you may be about it, makes you enemies. So with all that in mind, I honestly just want to study being a mage on my own. I'm sure we've gone through this before. Actually, I wonder because I thought we would wake up in the fucking shed. I wake up as the sunlight starts to pour in through the window. Looks like the sun's just now coming out, or coming up. It's still dark out. I get up trying not to let the morning cold discourage me and quickly fold up my futon. It's 5:30. I've always been an early riser no matter how late I go to bed. I might mess up once in a while like yesterday, but that's rare. I let Sakura do all the work yesterday, so it would look kind of bad if I didn't return the favor this morning. I should hurry up and finish making breakfast before Sakura comes. Yeah, I feel like this start to the day here is a little different. I cook rice and make miso soup. Maybe we did wake up in our room on the second day, in our first go-around, but I don't know, something does feel off. Yesterday, the soup had daikon radish and carrots, so I'm making onion and potato miso soup today. I make the egg omelet and use the leftover konnyaku to simmer it with bonito flakes. I make incisions into the saori fish, which will be the main dish, and sprinkle it with a little salt. All I have to do is broil it, but that can wait until the last minute. It's almost 6. I finish earlier than expected, so I have some time on my hands. We don't have any green text here, actually. We don't have shit. So this is new. This is all new. I guess, now let's go with this one. I'm thinking that, especially if we make the dish thinking of Sakura, something that she does like, that could maybe net us some brownie points. I open the fridge. Looks like it's just cucumbers and potatoes.
キュウリをスティック状に切って塩漬けにしてもいいし、じゃがいもを千切りにして酢の物にしてもいいんだけど。
I think my idea is already failing. Each only takes a few minutes, and they're both better if they're fresh. It'll be another 30 minutes before Fushine and Sakura show up. I might as well make the dishes right before I serve breakfast. I really don't know what to do with the extra time. What can I make in 30 minutes?
夕飯用に鶏のささみがあったから、
Maybe I'll wrap the meat and vegetables into bite-sized pieces and saute them. Is this what happens to people with a lot of energy that would just wake up early? It's just like, God damn, I gotta make more food. Or maybe I can fillet the chicken and flatten it with a meat tenderizer. The tenderizer is such a wicked-looking thing. It's a hammer with square sides, and the hammering surface is covered in spikes. If it were any bigger, it'd work pretty well as a torture device. Interesting thought. Using this frightening tool, I flatten the chicken, wrap it in carrots and green beans, cook it in a frying pan, and then add some sake to steam it up.
ちょっと待て。
I come to my senses after I reach this step. I was supposed to make a simple small dish since the sorry fish that's supposed to be the main dish is still waiting to be broiled. But now I've prepared a meat-wrapped veggie dish, which is like another main course.
なんてこった。暇つぶしで余計な料理をするなんて気が抜けてる。
I don't know, maybe, hopefully there's some appreciation behind it?
暇つぶしで作ってたんですか、先輩。
でも誤解のないように説明すると、本当は惣菜を追加しようとしたんだ。それが気がついたら包丁を持ってた。いや、習慣っていうのは怖い。
でもいいと思いますよ。朝ごはんにしては豪勢ですけど、先輩の料理なら余らないと思います。
そうかな。いや、そういう問題じゃないだろう、これは。一つの空に二つの太陽はいらないんだ。どっちかにはご退場を願わなくちゃいけない。
Oh, I don't know about all that. He also doesn't realize he's talking to Sakura.
作ったのに食べないんですか？
食べる。予定にはなかったけど、今日の昼は弁当にする。そうすれば余った方も無駄にはならないだろ。
先輩、今からお弁当作るんですか？
ギリギリかな。まあ、俺一人分ぐらいなら飯もなんとか。
Hold up. I finally realized that there's someone behind me.
おはようございます、先輩。今日もお邪魔しますね。
Sakura greets me with a smile. It's not unusual for Sakura to come into the kitchen at this time. She usually rings the doorbell and then comes in, but sometimes I'm too preoccupied to notice, like today.
おはよう、さくら。朝飯の支度はできてるから、今で休んでていいぞ。
I call out as I keep my eyes on the frying pan. A pot of hot water, a teapot, and some snacks sit on the table.
はい。今朝も完璧ですね、先輩。
I'm not sure what's got her so happy, but Sakura is a lot more animated than usual. And then, Sakura gleefully walks into the kitchen instead of to the table.
先輩、お弁当作るんですよね。
まあ、そういう流れになった。ちょうど弁当向きだし、もう少しおかずを用意しようかなって。
Is this why there's like a fate-related cooking or food making something or other? I don't know if it's a show or if it's a visual novel. I don't know. I just remember seeing something but being advised, hey, you might want to turn away from this until I'm done with this title. Really don't look at anything.
私もいいですか？ちゃんと自分で作りますから。
いや、待った。おかず、俺のと同じのでいいなら分けられるけど。
はい。さっきから見ていて、先輩の焼き物が食べたいなって思ってたんです。
了解。じゃあ、さくらはご飯炊いてくれ。二人分の弁当となると飯が足りなくなる。はい、
任されました。それじゃあ、お手伝いさせていただきますね。
I hear the sound of soft footsteps and an apron's strings being tied.
先輩、ご飯は2合でいいですよね。
十分なんじゃないかな。
With unhurried yet efficient movements, Sakura joins me in the kitchen. Oh, this is fun. At the very least.
今朝もいい匂いさせてて結構。
It's 6:30. Fujine comes in 30 minutes after Sakura arrived.
おはようございます先生。朝ごはんもうちょっと待ってくださいね。
待つ待つ。ってあれ？さくらちゃん、シロウと一緒に朝ごはん作ってるの？
Yeah, something like that.
いえ、朝食の支度は先輩が一人でやっつけちゃってました。
Sakura's voice is unusually lively. This isn't exactly an exciting task, so I'm not sure why she's in such a good mood.
そっかそっか。そりゃ朝からご機嫌
Not
にも
even
な
she
る
can
か。
see it.
お料理とシロウ、楽しいことだらけだもんね。よしよし、時間は余裕ないけどゆっくりしてていいわよ。
It looks like going for the extra dish was a good idea. It turned into a whole bunch of other stuff. Fujine laughs as she heads to the table and pours herself some tea.
たく、朝から寝ぼけやがって。学校前に台所に立つことのどこが楽しいってんだ。
I put the frying pan back on the shelf. The side dishes are done, and all that's left is to pack them into the bento box.
悪いな、さくら。部活前だっていうのに無駄な体力使わせて。昨日世話になった分、今朝はゆっくりしてもらおうと思ってたんだが。
いえ、そんなことありませんよ。藤村先生の言う通り、台所に立つのは楽しいです。
She beams. I know Sakura likes to cook, but making bento so early in the morning must be tough. On top of that, Sakura comes and makes dinner pretty often. Making her cook in the morning would take away whatever small bit of free time Sakura might have.
手伝ってくれるのは助かるけど、もう少し楽にしろよ、さくら。朝はもちっと眠ったり、放課後だって遊びに行くもんだろ。何も好き好んでうちの手伝いをしなくていいんだ。
ですから楽にしています。今日も先輩に朝ごはんを作ってもらいました。
Sakura smiles warmly. It's been a year and a half since Sakura started coming to help me here, and she still never listens to a word I say.
それとこれは別だろう。さくらだって自分の生活があるんだから、俺や藤姉の世話にかまけてたら大変だぞ。
それも大丈夫です。私、趣味はお料理と弓だけですから。ちなみに将来の目標は先輩の味を超えることで、もうすぐ射程距離だったりします。
Sakura proudly puffs her chest. I'd like to argue, but there's no denying that she's almost better than me in the kitchen.
ですから気にしないでください。私、ここでお料理するのが嬉しいし、上手くなるのが楽しいんです。この楽しさを教えてくれた恩返しと、自分の実益を兼ねてお手伝いをしているのです。
Her optimism is ridiculous.
それはつまり、日々俺の技術を盗んでいるということなのか？
はい。先輩のお手伝いをするだけで、好きなことがめきめき上達しちゃいます。ですから覚悟しててくださいね。今に先輩に参ったって言ってもらうんですから。
Whoa, I don't believe it. Sakura has said that with such conviction.
まったく。
It's really unlike her character.
こんなことなら料理なんて教えなければよかった。うちに来るまでサラダ油の存在さえ知らなかったくせに、今じゃ虎視眈々と死の首を狙ってやがる。飯なんて普通に作れればいいじゃんか。
そんなの目の敵にします。先輩の方が美味しいなんてダメなんですから。
What's that supposed to mean? I don't know what exactly about that is no good, but whatever. We need to set out breakfast. I take a look at the broiling sari fish. I stick my chopsticks in the fish's nicely colored belly to check how far it's cooked.
上出来かな。ほい、さくら、パス。先に食卓に持って行ってくれ。
はい、お疲れ様です、先輩。
I hand Sakura a plate with the fish. But then, Sakura suddenly stops in her tracks as if she just remembered something really important.
さくら、どうした？忘れ物か？
Sakura may look like she's put together, but she can actually be really forgetful. It's not unusual for her to suddenly remember something out of the blue just like this. But that doesn't seem to be the case this morning.
さくら。
Sakura doesn't respond. She stares dumbfounded at my hand, but she seems to be unaware of her dazed state, excuse me.
その手のあざ、何ですか？
What a strange question.
は？
I pull my hand back.
あれ、本当だ。手の甲にあざができてる。おかしいな。ぶつけた覚えはないんだけど。
No, this is different. I'm not sure why, but a large bruise is forming on the back of my hand. And it looks like it's a cut, and it's forming a big welt. Pretty disgusting if I say so myself. Sakura looks ill, and she's fallen silent.
悪い、あとは任せた。湿布かなんか貼ってく。
I leave Sakura to take care of breakfast and head to the dojo. I might have hurt myself when I was sleeping, but either way, I need to treat it. But for some reason, I can't get the image of Sakura being so awkward and distraught out of my head. Okay, so I think our attempt of,
先に行ってますね。
I think the attempt of getting brownie points is leading us onto the right trail to, you know, veer off into a different route here.
さくら、本当にいいのか？体調が悪いなら部活ぐらい休んでいいんだぞ。
いえ、大丈夫です。ちょっと頭痛がするだけですから、心配には及びません。体調が悪そうに見えるのは、先輩の気のせいですよ。
She explains with a smile, but it's obvious that she's putting on a brave face.
すごく元気か。朝飯、一口も食べられなかったのにか？
Something has her definitely, like, I don't know what specifically happened to Shirou here. Like, if it's like the top of his hand, that's where his command spells would be, right? But this is a bruise that has her, you know, just weirdly distanced and definitely not feeling good. She averts her eyes, looking uneasy. Sakura continues to look away and says,
失礼します。先輩の方こそ、休んでください。
She leaves. The dining table is neatly cleared, but there's an entire set of dishes with breakfast for one person in the kitchen sink untouched.
まったく、いきなりどうしたんだよ、さくらのやつ。
Sakura was in high spirits this morning, but then she suddenly got all quiet when she saw my injury, and everything she did from then was one mistake after another. She overfilled her teacup, she drenched soy sauce over her omelet to the point that it turned black, and she sat down to eat with her apron still on. In the end, she hardly took a bite of her breakfast, and then headed off to school looking pale.
風邪でもひいたのかな？
I mumble as I finish cleaning up. Whatever it is, I've never seen Sakura act like that. I met Sakura 4 years ago in the summer, and it's been a year and a half since she started coming to my house to help with housework. In all that time, I've never seen Sakura look the way she did today. Fujine should be at the archery range, so I don't think there'll be an issue there, but I should go and check on her sometime after school. Very strange. And I guess we just go about our day as normal until the end of the day. Classes end and it's time to go home. I can't wander around because I have work today. I shouldn't do anything at school. I should head straight to the neighboring town, but... why would we be worried about Tosaka? What happened on day 2 that would have us worried about Tosaka? Let's go worry about Sakura. I'm worried about Sakura. Nothing will come from me worrying about her, but I should at least check to see if she's perked up. This is day 2, right? We're still day 2. I walk through the first year's hall, which is on the 4th floor. There aren't any students walking down the hall, and there's only a handful of students hanging around the classroom. They're either at the clubs or headed home.
失敗したな。これじゃさくらも部活に行ってる。
Well, I've come this far. I might as well check Sakura's classroom, and after I see that nobody's there, I'll head to work.
どれ？
I peek into Class 1B. The classroom is tinted red from the light of the setting sun pouring in through the windows. It's silent, giving the impression nobody is inside. There doesn't seem to be anybody in the classroom. All the students have gone to their respective destinations, except for one lone shadow that remained inside the red-soaked classroom.
Sakura.
I step into the crimson-tinted world and say her name.
先輩
Her long hair is covering her face, but she looks even more weary than this morning.
どうしたんですか？うちのクラスに何か用事でも。
あ、いや、さくらのクラスに用事はない。単にさくらの様子が気になっただけだ。
Sakura's face grows, if possible, even more downcast. She's obviously not well.
さくら、気分が悪いなら帰らないか？交差点までなら遅れるから一緒に帰ろう。
いえ、いいです。私、どこも悪くありません。いつも通り部活に出て、終わったら先輩のところで夕飯をごちそうになるんです。悪くなんてないんです。だから気にしないでください。
Yeah, if you tell us not to worry, especially with some obvious signs that things are wrong, we're gonna worry, even more so. She grabs her bag and starts walking so quickly it's almost as if she's trying to run away.
バカ、そんな顔で何言ってんだ。いいから部活は休め。だいたいな、そんなんで弓を引いても帰ってくるもんなんかないだろう。
I grab Sakura's hand as she tries to pass me. A loud thud echoes through the classroom. Sakura almost falls, even though I only tried grabbing her hand. I quickly pull Sakura's arm. As I tug Sakura so firmly, I learn that she's surprisingly light.
びっくりした。さくら、本当に大丈夫か？足全然踏ん張り効いてないじゃないか。
Sakura averts her eyes apologetically. Honestly, what has gotten into her today?
とにかく部活は休みだ。俺もバイト休むから、今日はおとなしく家に帰ろう。
Sakura doesn't respond, keeping quiet. She doesn't shake off my hand, nor does it look like she's going to listen to me.
どうしたんだよ、さくら。そんなんじゃ部活に出ても意味ないって分かってるだろ？
それは先輩の言う通りです。けど兄さんが呼んでるから。
He's not important. Which is why I need to go, she adds almost inaudibly. Damn. I never have any reply to that look. I hear that the Moto family's circumstances are complicated, and I can't really put myself in the middle of Shinji and Sakura. No matter how much I consider Sakura my family, the people in the Moto household are her real family. As an outsider, my words will fall on deaf ears. Anything I said would just seem like unnecessary meddling.
部活には顔を出すだけか、さくら。
私だって今は弓を引けないって分かってます。
そうか。要するにシンジの顔を立てるだけってことだな。
I pull out a chair and sit on it. Then I pull another chair from the neighboring desk.
先輩？
いいから座れ。部活に行くのはもう止めない。その代わりもうちょっと休んでいけ。シンジには俺から誘われて断るのに時間がかかったって言えばいい。
Yeah, let him be mad at Shirou. Don't let him be mad at you.
そんなこと言えません。そんなこと言ったら兄さんまた先輩にその。
Is that what the injury is on his hand?
シンジがちょっかい出してくるのはいつものことだよ。いいじゃんか。
I don't even remember
毎日
that.
会話のネタがあって。
Well, we don't really know what it
あい
is,
つも楽だろ。
so.
それにこの話は嘘でもなんでもない真っ白な真実なんだから後ろめたいこともない。
I gesture for Sakura to sit down. Sakura reluctantly sits on the chair.
よしよし。じゃあちょっと待っててくれ。生徒会室からお茶くすねてくるからな。俺が戻ってくるまで席を立つのは禁止だぞ。
She's not gonna stay here.
先輩、お茶をくすねてくるってそんなことしたら怒られるんじゃ。
Damn, the student council really does like owe Shirou when you think about it.
先生に見つかったらな。何？ この手のことには慣れてる。廊下でばったり会わない限り問題ないから。さくらは椅子でふんぞり返っててくれ。
できません。先輩が危ないことしてる時に休んでるなんてもってのほかです。先輩、私お茶なんていいですから。
だから危なくないって。いいから座ってろよ。教室で茶を飲むってのも一度ぐらいはいいもんだ。
I jump out into the hallway. The student council room isn't that far. I'll go get a whole tea set real quick to surprise Sakura. This is really like already straying off. Time passes. Sakura and I both drink tea in the classroom, which seems ludicrous, but we look out the window as we have nothing better to do. I'm really surprised she actually waited. The last rays of the sunset filter in through the window, stinging my eyes a bit. Sakura looks toward the sunset, her expression vacant. I don't have much to say, so I follow Sakura and keep my mouth shut. Since there's no conversation, time passes slowly, excuse me. Sakura's not generally all that talkative, and it's not unusual for her to just stare blankly ahead. She seems to be more at ease when she's alone. Come to think of it, Sakura prefers to be alone. It's not that she wants to be away from the hustle and bustle, so much as her seeming to want to be isolated from the people around her. And she often chooses to look outside rather than keeping her attention inside. Which is probably why she stayed alone in the classroom today. Sakura doesn't go out of her way to interact with people. Fujine and I are the exceptions. And if I weren't acquaintances with Shinji, well, Sakura wouldn't have had to interact with me at all, really. I sneak a glance at Sakura. Sorry, guys, I keep on like dragging my mouse up whenever I click, and I click too much, and then it's doing this. Yeah, sorry. 4 years ago, when Shinji introduced me to her, Sakura seemed more like a little girl. Before I knew it, she was my underclassman, and even started coming to my house to help with housework, and her childish appearance started to fade. Sakura has become beautiful. Well, she was pretty to begin with, but I guess I'd say she's grown too pretty. On top of that, she's sensible and so gentle. With all those great qualities, it's no wonder so many people say that she's a beauty on par with Rin Tosaka. But there's something I just don't get. Sakura is often alone. She doesn't seem to have any friends from the Kyoto Club, and given that she was alone in the classroom after school, she may not have any friends in her class either. Now that I think about it, I only know the Sakura from the Kyoto Club and the Sakura at my house. I don't know what Sakura does or how she acts when she's at school, or the Moto family home. Just when I realized that, and as I continued to stare blankly at the reddened sky,
先輩、覚えてますか?
The 21st night of September, Sakura asks without taking her gaze from the window.
覚えてるかって何を?
ずっと昔の話です。私がまだ先輩を知らなかった頃の話。
つまり、さくらと知り合う前の話か?
はい。4年前、私が進学したばかりの頃です。まだ新しい学校に慣れてなくて、あてもなく廊下を歩いているとき、私、不思議なものを見たんですよ。あれは、一体どういう経緯だったんでしょうね。もう放課後で、グラウンドには陸上部の人もいないっていうのに、誰かが一人だけで走ってたんです。何をしてるのかなって見てみると、その人、一人で走り高跳びをしてました。
She giggles. It must be an endearing memory to Sakura, if that blissful smile is anything to go by.
真っ赤な夕焼けだったんです。校庭も廊下もみんな真っ赤で、そんな中でですね、一人でずっと走ってるんです。走って飛んで、
I think I know what this is here.
また繰り返して、周りには誰もいなくて、 その高さを超えられないって分かってるのに。
Well, I don't deeply know what this is here, but a bit of a connection from something that we saw in Reen's memories.
頑張ればなんとかなるって
Which is
問題じゃ
strange.
ないんですよ。だってその棒、その人の身長よりずっと高かったんです。私から見ても無理だってわかるんだから、その人だってとっくに飛べないって分かってたと思うんです。
What? I understand the story, but I'm not sure what she's getting at. I don't think ruling solo practice after school is all that strange.
私、その時良くない子だったんです。嫌なことがあって、誰かに八つ当たりしたかった。失敗しちゃえ、諦めちゃえって、その人がくじける瞬間が見たくなって、ずっと見てたんです。
I think wanting somebody to fail at something or succeed or whatever is a very human thing. It's kind of fucked up with how she said it here, honestly. But if you're watching two teams go at it in a sports game or in motorsport, you're wishing that others would fail while the one that you want to win does the best. So, I mean, I kind of get it, but she's kind of got like a really unhealthy way of going about it here.
けど、なかなか諦めてくれないんですよ。何度も何度も見ているこっちが怖くなるくらいできっこないことを繰り返して、全然泣き言を言わなかったんです。
はあ、そりゃよっぽど切羽詰まってたんじゃないのか。明日がレギュラー選定でその高さを飛べないと選ばれないとか。
いいえ、それは違います。だってその人、陸上部でも何でもない人でしたから。
Huh. But why is Sakura laughing?
それでですね、私、見ているうちに気がついたんです。その人、別に何でもいいんだなって。今日たまたま自分のできないことにぶつかって、なら負けないぞって意地を張ってただけなんです。そうして日が落ちて、その人は一人で片付けをして帰っちゃいました。すごく疲れてるのに、何でもなかったみたいに平然とどっか行っちゃったんです。
わかんないやつだな。けどやめたってことは飛べたんだろ、そいつ。
これがですね、結局飛べなかったんです。その人、
3 hours?
も
What
ず
the
ーっと
fuck?
走って、どうやっても自分じゃ飛べないって納得しただけなんです。
Man, I would have given up after like 10 minutes.
うわ、落ちてないな、その話。
はい。あんまりにもまっすぐすぎて、その人の心配をしちゃったぐらいです。その人はきっと、すごく頼りがいのある人なんです。けどそこが不安で、寂しかった。
Sakura sounds so lonely as she says that, and I'm afraid she could be entirely swallowed up in the red classroom.
はあ、話は分かったけど、それが何だってんだよ、さくら。
いえ、わからないのならいいんです。私にはそう見えただけで、その人自身にとっては日常茶飯事だったということで。
Sakura smiles warmly, seeming to have come out of her dark mood from earlier. Just then, I may be dense, but I realize who she's talking about. It's Shirou. I actually don't remember it happening, but if it's a story from 4 years ago, it must have been a little after my old man died. I did some pretty reckless stuff every day, so I guess Sakura's story is just one instance of that. Okay, but
つまりそれは
why did Reen have a memory of this event? Like, we pulled that from her memory whenever we did the ritual near the end of Unlimited Blade Works. Where did that come from?
はい。今私の前にいる上級生さんでした。
Okay, when you say it like that, come on, it's obvious.
あの頃は小柄だったから、同じ学年かなって勘違いしちゃったんです。
Ugh. I really wish she wouldn't bring up my height when I was younger. Sure, I'm not that tall even now, but I still had a growth spurt.
そういうことです。私、 その時から先輩のことは知ってたんですよ。
そっか。それは初耳。
I look away, embarrassed that she saw me in such an awkward moment. And then,
はい、私たち同じものを見てたんです。
Sakura gestures like she's praying. And I'm not sure I understand what she's getting at. We both saw, like, frustration? Anger? It's more of a feel than a see, but I ask, feeling concerned. But at that moment, the familiar school bell sounds as if to deny my curiosity.
鐘鳴っちまったな。
It's been 30 minutes since I had her stay in the classroom with me. The time is 4:30.
さすがにこれ以上の遅刻はやばいよな。片付けはやっとくから、さくらは先に行っていいぞ。
はい、おかげさまで元気いっぱいです。今日の夕飯は楽しみにしててください。
Sakura gets up. She doesn't seem like she's forcing it. She really does look better.
だって悪いさくら。俺これからバイトだ。今日は遅くなるから無理してうちに来なくていい。
はい、わかりました。ならお夕飯だけ作って置いていきますね。
You don't even have to do that, but Sakura quickly bows and leaves. Fujine should be at my place, so she should be able to walk Sakura home when it's time. My livelihood's at stake too, so I better head over to work quickly. Yeah, we gotta get more money. We need more of that yen. I ride the bus from school for 20 minutes. I arrive at Shinto, the neighboring town across the bridge.
なんだ、まだ5時前か。少し時間があるな。
There aren't many part-time jobs in the residential area of Miyama, but there are plenty in Shinto since it's a developing area. Our school allows students to hold part-time jobs, so I take on simple jobs. I prefer my jobs to be physical, and the tougher and shorter they are, the better. I get paid all while training my body, so it's like killing two birds with one stone. It's actually a really positive way of looking at it. I would just be lazy. Today I'll work from 5 to 8 o'clock for a simple loading job. It may just be 3 hours of work, but it feels more like 6 hours since they make you work without a minute's rest. Which means I need to rest when I have the opportunity, even if it's just for 10 minutes. Walking around aimlessly would be a waste of energy, so I decided to rest at a park until it's time. He does go about things pretty strategically, that's for sure. This park is nestled between buildings, and it's like a giant plaza full of trees and shrubbery. A park should typically be filled with families and couples during weekends and holidays, but this one is deserted at this hour. In fairness, this place is always desolate, no matter the day or time.
相変わらずだな、ここは。
I sigh in exasperation. The area is unkept, and it's really pretty ugly compared to other places that are properly landscaped and maintained. As if the desolate location had set the mood, the wind itself blows cold and harsh. This place is the remnant of the great catastrophe that happened 10 years ago. It's the very place where I was saved from the brink of death.
なんで芝生とか植えないんだろう。いつまでもこのままってのはもったいない。
They really should. The area is quite large, so if they leveled it, well, there'd be plenty of space to work on the park. I sit down on a bench as I think. With nothing else to do, I stare out over the burned area to pass the time. I don't remember anything that happened here. The only thing I remember is that it was hot, and I couldn't breathe, and that some people died trying to save others.
どうしてそうなのかな。
Oh, we'll be finding out soon. One adult here died because they were trying to save a child from a burning house. Another person was offered all of the available water to extinguish their raw, parched throat, while others in the same situation died. Someone here tried to flee the fire as fast as they could, but the people left behind died. And someone died here because they gave whatever it was that kept them alive to someone that they didn't even know. I don't like thinking about that. Just thinking about people trying to help and becoming victims for their trouble makes me angry. Is it too much to ask for everyone to be saved and for them to get their happy ending afterward? All I want is to see people peacefully prevail. Why can't that happen?
それは難しい。シロの言っていることは誰も彼も救うということだからね。
That was Kiritsugu's response to the question when a very young me asked it. As a child, I obviously refused to accept that idea. But you saved me, Kiritsugu. I knew you were a magician, and you could do anything. I knew you were a champion of justice who wouldn't let anyone suffer, and you did it without asking for any reward. That's why I've always believed you managed to save everyone back then. In response to me shouting this at him, Kiritsugu looked more troubled than I'd ever seen him, and said something I remember to this day.
シロ、誰かを救うということは誰かを助けないということなんだ。いいかい？正義の味方に助けられるのはね、正義の味方が助けた者だけなんだよ。当たり前のことだけど、これが正義の味方の定義なんだ。
Yeah, I get that. And now that it's been pointed out, it seems so obvious. Imagine if there was a burglar and some hostages, and the burglar intends to kill the hostages. Under normal circumstances, a majority of the hostages would probably die. But if by some miracle all the hostages were saved, there's someone who didn't get saved. The burglar, of course, since saving the hostages was done at the cost of his life. The people the champion of justice saves are only those whom the champion of justice deems to save. That's why saving everyone is impossible. Even God can't do that.
それが天才ならなおさらだ。誰であろうと、全てを助けるなんてできなかった。
It's crazy going back through this. I'm sure we've read something like this in the very beginning. But knowing who Archer is and knowing what really made Archer as Archer, you know, this really does kind of loop back around, doesn't it? The fire 10 years ago was like that. As someone who was miraculously saved from the incident, it wasn't my place to say anything at this point.
けど、嫌だ。
I don't want anything like that. I don't like the idea that there's a limitation to those who can be saved. No matter how impossible it may be, I need to reach out to help. I can't stand to see people around me die like back then. If the person I am now had been there 10 years ago, I would have thrown myself into the fire.
そのまま無駄死にしてたろうな。間違いなく。
That would have happened for sure. Jeez, I can't even fantasize in my head.
しまった。ぼんやりしてたら5時になっちまった。
Time to work. A bell in the distance rings, chiming 5 o'clock. I get up from the bench and hurry to my part-time job. Yeah, I want to say that we've gone through this, I'm pretty sure. Because this is going to be the night that Rin and Shirou, they see each other. Rin atop a building and Shirou at the bottom. By the time I'm done working, the sun has long since set. It's a little before 8 o'clock, or at least she sees him. I finished about 10 minutes earlier because I kind of overworked myself. Maybe it's because I stopped by that park before work. That might have motivated me to push myself harder. At the train station, the night is just getting started. There are a bunch of people milling about, and an endless stream of cars on the road.
藤根にお土産はいいか。
I walk along the path as I gaze up at a lighted building. It's the biggest building in Shinto, so I can't see all the way to the top. As I gaze at the building, enjoying the nighttime scenery. No, we do see her. I think I see something bizarre.
なんだ、今の。
I stop and try to look at the very top. I squint trying to bring what I see into focus, but it's like staring at grains of rice. Yep, there she is. It looks like someone I know, but I can't think why this girl I know would have a reason to be there. It doesn't seem like she's going to do anything up there, but she's just standing there looking down at the city as the wind ruffles her hair. She doesn't seem to notice me down below. Oh no, she does. Actually, there's no way she could see me. Even my near-perfect vision, enhanced with magecraft, can barely distinguish what's up there. I'm able to tell that she's up there because she's isolated, but there's no way she would be able to pick me out of a crowd on the ground. But she does. She's just looking down at the town. It seems like she's looking for something. I can almost feel her sharp gaze even at this distance. I forget how long it's been, but I continue to look up at the girl standing in the void. She stands at the top of a high tower. She's like a magician looking down at the surface world with the bright moon shining bright behind her. And then she disappears, apparently done with whatever brought her up there. The rooftop stands empty and the scenery returns back to nothing more than the beautiful night sky.
今の遠坂だったのかな。
Nope, just your imagination. I can't be sure, but I'm probably right about who it was at least. There aren't many girls I know who stand out like her, and besides, I'm not so out of it that I'd fail to notice a girl I secretly admire.
そうか。
It's just, Tosaka sure has a weird way of spending her time. Ain't that the truth? Now that I agree with, bucko. Maybe this is the night that we actually come across Ilya, I want to say. Whatever. I've recorded long enough here. I actually had to split this into 2 sessions. I went to go eat. So right now we still linger in the Fate route, it seems, but I want to say that we're heading into a potential direction to veer off. Does the flowchart show anything different? Apparently we're coming across somebody here in this, but yeah, there's like a whole new branch here that has opened up, so that's pretty interesting. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I remember this. We didn't have this option up here before, but this seemed to be like the no-go for Sakura, but up here it is. Interesting. Yeah, I guess we are coming across something eventually. We just have some other directions that we're going in here on the Fate route before we veer off, which is fine by me. But thank you all for tuning into this one. It feels good to be back at it with a whole new route here for Fate Stay Night Remastered. I hope you guys are excited. Let me know if this is your favorite route or if it's like a close second. You know, like what is your favorite route, guys? Let's talk about it in the comments. I'm very curious. I'm sure a lot of you guys have already talked about what you appreciate the most out of these routes, but I have heard from those in my Discord server that this one that we're jumping into, it's pretty fire apparently. But I also heard similar things as I was heading into Unlimited Blade Works. So either way, I'm excited, and I hope you guys are as well. Thank you all for tuning in. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take it easy.